if I didn't trust myself, I would be telling you guys about this plan. I'm gonna look back on this in October and be like, you did that shit, girl. Okay, which brings me to the plan. I'm kind of done moving in silence about a few things that have changed in my life over the past 6 months. Let me bring you guys up to speed.
I moved across the country where we bought our first home. I quit my job, finally. I started learning how to cook. I started working with a personal trainer and finally losing the weight. We started our couples channel, which is growing by the day. I started really leaning into the rebrand of Rima's Rules and just fully embodying my identity as a content creator.
And honestly, there are probably like 5 more things that have changed that I am forgetting to bring up because I'm so embodied in this new identity that I don't really resonate with the old version of myself. And if you watch my videos, especially my rebrand videos, you've probably heard me say that 100 times, but I mean it. And we're about to completely double down so that 6 months from now, that version of me is going to be saying the same exact thing about this version of me. I'm so excited to get into today's video. Hello, my love. I'm your girl, Rima, your tough, loving big sis who takes her own advice. And you are now tuned in to another episode of Rima's Rules. I actually took physical notes. There's just something beautiful about some pen to paper action. So you are truly in for a treat. This is what I'm calling episode 0 of my Double Down Diaries. The title pretty much explains itself. So consider this your little orientation. It's going to run from April 15th to October 15th. And the reason being, my birthday's on October 16th. So once I start on April 15th, I'm going to literally have 6 months to just completely re-up my life, even more so than I've been able to do in the past. I really at this point in my life believe in the power of talking more, doing more and talking less. Not my old self trying to creep in, because that was how she was. I would just talk about a lot of stuff, and sometimes the impact of talking about it emotionally makes you feel like you've already done it. So I'm really trying to just do it and then talk about it in retrospect so that you guys can understand basically everything that I've learned. So anyway, the first part of this video will literally be me just kind of reflecting on everything I've learned over the past 6 months. Then we're gonna move into what my 6-month plan is for the Double Down Diaries. And then by the end of this video, I'll let you know what you can expect from this series. It's a limited series. It's just going to be me documenting this journey so that I can bring you along, give you that motivation, and we can kind of have like this beautiful digital proof of all of the progress that we've made together. So I'm so excited for this video. Before we get into my little 6-month master plan, I want to tell you a little bit about the last 6 months and why they have given me all the confidence and self-trust that I need to just completely double down. And that's the word, that's the phrase that has just been surfacing every time I think about my life, is double down, because the past 6 months were some of the most turbulent, most uncertain, lack of routine, lack of an actual home, which I'll get into in a second. And the fact that I've been able to prioritize myself and my goals during a time period where I genuinely didn't even know where we were gonna live. I didn't even know if I was going to keep my job or quit. And if I was gonna quit, what I was going to do next. Like, there were just so many question marks. But the thing that stayed constant were me focusing on what I want to create in my life, which is why I was able to have so many amazing updates to share with you at the beginning of this video. So over the past 6 months, we have found a home in Minnesota, and basically in January, we finally, closed on that home. We started renovating that home because that home was not ready for us to live in. We've been living at a house that my husband and his brother have owned for years, and it just so happens to be literally across the street from the home that we're renovating, which is like the most Arab shit you could possibly ever do. If you know, you know. And it is amazing and so convenient that we can literally, like, after this video, I'm gonna walk across the street and check on the renovations. But the fact remains that this is not my home, okay? This is not my room. The videos that you've been watching over the past several weeks, not me getting activated, sitting up straight. I was trying to be cute and casual and like talk to you guys like this, but I just get too passionate when I speak, so I'm probably gonna be jumping up forward like this. Anyway, this is not my home. This is not my bathroom. These are not my routines. I'm sharing a home with other people who I love and who I enjoy, but at the end of the day, I'm not in my space. And I used to allow that because we would come visit all the time. We would stay here all the time. So I'm very familiar with this home, but I used to use it kind of like as an excuse for why I couldn't be consistent at the gym, why I couldn't consistently meal prep, because I don't feel fully like, I don't have full ownership of this place to feel like I can just make meals and do all this stuff, right? Like, I had so much gunk in my head that was stopping me in the past. And the fact that I have given myself a several month stretch where none of those things I allowed to be excuses, even though of course objectively they are more challenging. Objectively, you know, I had to figure out my way around places. For a time period, I didn't even have a car here. Ahmed and I had to carpool with the one car that we had. So there were a lot of logistical challenges, but I'm so proud and impressed with myself because I never let any of those things get in my way. So that's number one. Number two, like I mentioned, we're renovating a home, which of course is time consuming. There's a lot of energy, there's a lot of financial commitment, a lot of decisions constantly being made. Even in the midst of that, I've been able to double down and focus on what I care most about. I was still hitting my daily step count. I was still getting my ass in the gym consistently, more consistently than over the past several years of living in LA. Like, I've been doing it. The number one thing that I learned is less is more. I listed out at the beginning of this video probably like 6 or 7 huge changes in my life. These are like the types of monumental changes that if I just did one of those several things, it would have been a successful 6 months. But the main idea I want you to really focus on is that I was able to do all of those huge things by doubling down and focusing on only 1 to 2 things. I want to just pause when I'm saying that because if you're on this channel, you're probably an ambitious girly like me. You're probably spoiled. You don't like people telling you no. If you want something, you're gonna go after it. And what used to bother me is people telling me like, well, you can't have everything that you want. There's no way I'm gonna listen to you say that. I'm going to try to have everything I want. And if it doesn't work out, I'll at least know that I tried. What I've learned just through trial and error and experience and age, and you know, I always have to flex my little gray hairs so that you guys can see I'm really about this life, okay? The point I'm making is I was able to do more by focusing on less. So as we get into my 6-month plan, you're gonna see I'm talking about 2 things. I'm not giving you no whole flow chart of like the 7 areas of my life that I'm gonna be doubling down on. How can you double down on 7 different things? That doesn't make any sense. I am doubling down on 2 things. It's the same 2 things. And that's why I am doubling down, because I've been doing this shit. But now I'm just gonna take what I've learned and just literally like sprint to the end of the finish line. Okay, so those 2 things are going to remain: body and content, content and body. That's it. Okay, so I officially quit my job on February 1st. What kind of came over me was I just realized that nobody was going to give me my dream. Nobody was going to hand deliver the thing that I wanted. I could manifest all day, which I do. I could, you know, visualize it and see it all day. But if I wasn't going out and getting it, it wasn't going to happen. And even with that, I am a huge believer in the law of attraction. As I would visualize certain things, the version of me that was in those visualizations was not a girl with a full-time job, was not a girl that was doing social media marketing for other people. Absolutely not. She was a girl who believed enough in herself and believed enough in her content to go out and get it for herself. Once that became evidently clear through having a manifestation coach and working on this and visualizing a lot of what my success is and feeling it and tasting it, it was just so clear that it was not going to happen with that job. So I did something that I haven't been able to do in years, and I just decided to quit and go all out on my own. I thought that I was gonna quit and then just hit the ground running with all of my goals. Like, I'm about to be in the gym all day, every day. I'm about to learn how to cook healthy meals. I'm about to start creating content like nobody's ever seen. And honestly, I'm very proud of everything that I've accomplished since February 1st. It's only been what, 1, 2. So it hasn't even been 3 months. I feel so confident with the momentum I've built specifically as it relates to my body goals. I have dropped successfully 2 jean sizes and I just want to drop 1.5 more, I'll say, because I'm a size 8 right now, but that size 8 is not very comfortable. I'm not discounting my progress. I feel great. I look great. More importantly than all of that, and this will be its own video at some point, I believe I'm going to do it. I have not been able to say that for the past probably like 15 years of my life. There have been other times where I've felt great and I've looked great and I've acknowledged that. But in those bodies that I was in the past, or more importantly in that identity, I was never able to say with full confidence that I'm going to finish it. Like, there was always a remaining 10-ish pounds left. And I was too insecure to talk about it out loud because I didn't actually believe that I'd be able to complete the job. I feel very confident in the momentum that I've built over the past 2 months, and I'm very proud of that. That being said, my content did not hit the ground running as much as I expected it to. And even as I'm thinking about it, like, Starting the couples channel was not something I had planned to do randomly on a random day in February. I genuinely, it's kind of crazy. I don't really know what made me just decide to do it, but I did it and it grew so quickly. Like we literally, our second video just went completely viral and we're still getting traction on it. So I'm so proud of that. But Rima's Rules is something that is so near and dear to my heart. And I have such big plans for this whole space, for my YouTube channel, for my Substack, for, you know, my shorter form content on Instagram and TikTok. Like there's so much I want this brand to become. And I was feeling a little frustrated during this time, despite all of my wins, that I wasn't doing what I knew it took to just go out and get it. So now we are here. I'm recording this on April 10th, and in 5 days, I'm going to kick off my Double Down Diaries. And what this means is that for the next 6 months, from April 15th to October 15th, so that I could say I did it and then enjoy my birthday, I might create something cute and put it on screen. If not, I'm just gonna be reading off this cute little piece of paper. This paper is gonna be everything. Okay, I'm gonna look back on this in October and be like, you did that shit, girl. Okay, we're keeping it very simple because one thing I want you to realize, not only is having 20 goals very unrealistic, because how are you supposed to double down on 20 things? What people don't realize is that a goal is not a plan. A goal is a goal. That's like the thing that you want. When you're running a race, there's a finish line, but you also have to figure out your running shoes. You have to practice your form. You have to work on your mindset. You have to eat the right things leading up to the race or even the day of. You need to get enough sleep. There are so many plans and little strategies or tactics that go into making one goal happen. So that is why I would say 2 goals maximum. If you're gonna be doing this alongside me, and I'm assuming you and I aren't gonna necessarily have the same goals, I'm really urging you and at this point begging you, because I've said this in other videos, 2 goals maximum, because I guarantee you under each of those goals, you're gonna have at least 8 to 20 tactics that are gonna help you get to that goal. Keep the plan simple so it's something that you can stick to, okay? On one side, we have body, and on the other side, we have content. Let's start with body, shall we? I wanna be at 158 pounds. I have not weighed myself in 6 months, which I think has contributed to a lot of happiness and just not second guessing myself, but we'll talk about that in the weight loss video. But I wanna be at the point by my birthday where I feel comfortable getting on the scale, even if it's just once, okay? I wanna be around the 158 pound range, but more importantly, I wanna be a true size 6. So I want to be able to try on size 6s in most stores and have those be a pair of jeans that fits me very comfortably and very well. And I will be at a place, because I'm already feeling it now, where I feel good in all of my clothes. I just feel amazing. I feel beautiful. Regardless if I have a day where I feel bloated, obviously we fluctuate, we're women, but I just want to feel like me and my body are on the same side. That is the phrase that I keep using, and I've already gotten so many glimpses of that feeling, which is how I know that I'm going to be there and even beyond there come October. Under body, I've separated that section into gym/movement and then food/nourishment, okay? This is not an exhaustive list of all the things I'm going to do, but it's just the things that I'm doubling down on. I'm going to commit to and double down on the following: doing my training session with my trainer once a week, as I have been, Pilates once a week, as I have been, and then focusing on 10 to 15,000 steps a day, as I have been. If you haven't been doing that, my goal last time was 8,000 a day. I have been far exceeding that. On most days, I hit at least 12K, but I like to keep my goals lower than what I know I'm going to do, so that I can constantly be in a state of pride, feeling proud of myself, because that's the momentum personally that keeps me going. I'm no longer fueled by this negative, like, you're not good enough, you're not doing enough, you didn't do enough yesterday. That doesn't fuel me. That is poison to my journey. I like to set myself up for success by setting more realistic, even lower goals. Does that mean I'm only going to lift weights once a week with my trainer? No, I'm sure there will be other days, as there have been, where I'm in the gym naturally getting my steps in, and then I go hit upper body or hit whatever muscle group I didn't hit with my trainer. That usually happens at least 3 times a week. But the only things I'm really committing to are these things, because what I've learned over the past 6 months is movement is easy for me. I'm really athletic. I used to be in a lot of sports growing up, so I just like being in the gym. The challenging part for me, and what I'm really trying to double down on over the next 6 months, is the food. okay? Because I quit my job, I felt like I was just gonna have so much time to make food every day. And I think the part that I forgot to think about is, while that is true, I have more time, I don't have all these calls to be on, the energy that it requires to think of what to eat every single day is eating away at the energy I could use to create videos like this. So I have been so exhausted constantly trying to figure out what I'm supposed to eat. It was just requiring too much energy. One thing about me is I really thrive in a predictable routine. What I'm going to do is predictable daily meal plans. I am completely fine eating the same thing every day for 4 days in a row and then switching it up for the rest of the week. There's gonna be some clockwork involved here for me personally, because this is how I operate, where it's like protein shake in the morning, and it's like always the same protein shake with the same macros and all of that. And then some sort of meal prep, whether it's a healthy tuna salad that I make, the healthy protein packed burritos that I make, really easy meals that I'm able to prep one time that will get me through Monday through Thursday. That is the goal that I'm going for, because not only is that predictability so helpful for preserving my energy, but I've heard, and I'm not sure if this is true, I've heard it's really good for weight loss because your body is getting used to the same kinds of foods. Anyway, more importantly, it's gonna help preserve my energy for the content piece, which is a little more challenging for me at the moment. Okay, Friday night cheat meal. So I've been successful. That's the one thing I've been real consistent at, is cheating every Friday. The problem is I've also sometimes cheated on Thursday as well, cheated on Sunday as well, and I just need to rein that in. I need to rein it in. I'm not working this hard at the gym so that I could have multiple cheat meals a week. Because I'm a very self-aware person, I had to be realistic. Like, okay, you'll have your cheat meal on Friday night and you're just gonna let yourself eat something fried. It's usually some fried chicken or, you know, Chick-fil-A or something like that. And that's great. You'll do that on Friday night. Saturday is the weekend. On the weekend, sometimes I get that vibe of like, I don't wanna spend my days making food. I wanna order out because it just feels comforting. So I'm allowed to have one other meal that I order out, but it cannot be a cheat meal. What I mean by that is it can't be some fried, super like French fries, because I love French fries. It should be something like a Potbelly sub, which might be higher in calorie, but it's just not fried. It's something that is relatively less unhealthy. I'm not gonna say it's healthy because it's not, but it is less unhealthy than eating Cane's 2 times a week like I did last week, okay? Trying to be very accountable and honest about what has, I don't want to say stalled my progress because I've still made amazing progress, but what things can I double down on that are going to be the most high impact? And instead of just saying I'm only allowed to order food once a week, that's not realistic to me. Just like I told you, if you're going from 3,000 steps a day, 10,000 might feel like a stretch. You might hit it on some days, but why not just set the goal as something more compassionate to where you're at? For me, I've been eating out at least 3 times a week. I'm not gonna just go down to 1 immediately, sometimes 4 times a week. So let me go down to 2 times a week, with one of those being a cheat meal and the other one being something that gives me that feeling of ordering takeout, but is not fried food, is not fast food. So that's my rule for that. On the other days, like in the other meals that I'm eating on the weekend, they're gonna follow the same rules as my Monday through Thursday. It's something that I'm making at home that is easy to prep and very aligned with my goals. That's really it. That's all I'm going to do to get to my body goal. Okay, for the content segment of my Double Down Diaries, my goal, my end goal is as follows. By October 15th of 2025, the Habibe's channel, which is our couples page on Instagram, will be at 15K. My YouTube channel, this channel right here, will be at 10K. My Instagram will also be at 10K. And I will have 2,000 subscribers on Substack, which might not seem like a lot to you, but right now I have 200. So that is a 10x from there. So for my game plan to get to that goal, on the couples page, I'm going to post at least 3 times a week. Our videos have been really gaining a lot of traction. And so I'm confident that just being consistent with only 3 times a week is gonna get us to that 15K, because we're already almost at like 7K right now. For Rima's rules, I'm going to be consistent in posting 1 YouTube video every week. So I'm gonna be seeing you guys every single week at least 1 time. I'm going to also post 1 Substack every single week. And if you don't follow me on Substack, you should, because that's where my rawest, realest like downloads in my brain. Like these conversations are usually just reserved for like my best friend and my husband, but I share a lot of those insights with my baddies on Substack as well. And then 2 to 3 posts on my Rima's Rules Instagram and or TikTok, just 2 to 3 short form posts is what's going to get me to that 10K on Instagram and 2,000 on Substack. Now, you might think that those goals, 10K, are not very ambitious. I used to do the whole, I want to get my 100K plaque, which I do. I definitely still want that. But like I said before, the momentum of setting a goal and crushing it, to me, is going to get me to that 100K much faster and much happier than saying 100K and getting 99.9K. Do you get what I'm saying? I read this amazing book called The Gap and the Gain that kind of explains that perspective really well. A lot of times we are primed as people to focus on the gap. It's kind of like this logical fallacy that happens in our brains psychologically, where instead of seeing, in my case, for example, that I've dropped about 2.5 jean sizes, I'm hyper fixated on the 1.5 to go, which in my specific case, my progress is greater than what I need to do next. But because we're so hyper fixated on where we're at now and where we're trying to go in that gap, we are primed so negatively. And so we don't even give ourselves the credit for what we've already been able to do. The way that I'm learning to counteract this natural phenomena that sometimes happens in our brains is to set goals that are so doable, but still worthy of celebration and still aligned to my ultimate goal, that I have no choice but to focus on the gain. I have no choice but to celebrate like I really did that shit. I said I was gonna hit 8K steps and I just demolished that goal and I hit 12K day after day after day. I'm able to focus on the gain because all I see in my sometimes very analytical brain is this goal that says 8K and the marker being here. And there's that green. So instead of seeing the gap, I'm seeing literally the gain. Every single day, I just see this surplus of you did that shit and then some. And then on the days where all I do is hit 8K, I feel amazing because that's exactly what I said I was gonna do. Do you get what I'm saying? Because that feeling, that confidence, that self-trust of I'm crushing this shit is going to be what makes you successful ultimately. It's going to be the fuel that keeps you going, even on the days where you feel like giving up and not doing anything. You can literally pick up the next day and not feel like you've fallen off track. When you are creating your game plan, it should not feel so fragile. It should not feel like if something did happen where you had to take a day off, you're gonna have to work 20 extra hours every day. That's exaggerating. Even an extra hour every day to make up for what you missed on that day. This should not be so fragile where if you fall off of something that you cannot feel like immediately you can get back on track. I want you to be self-aware about what has stopped you in the past. I want you to be realistic about what you've been doing. Do an audit. What have you been doing? Have you been eating fried food 5 times a week? Then make the goal to only eat it 3 times a week. That's going to be a huge impact on your health. You've been doing it 5 times a week. Get to 3. Do that for several weeks, then bring that down to 2. It's all about building self-trust. And that is the only reason I'm here talking to you, so proud of myself and feeling so confident that I'm going to double down. You think if I didn't trust myself, I would be telling you guys about this plan? Because 6 months ago, I didn't tell you guys about the plan I just did. Because I knew that I needed to build more self-trust and just keep it between me, myself, and I, and then do it and then talk about it. The only reason I feel okay inviting you guys into the process is because I know I'm about to deliver on it and even over deliver on it. Which brings me to the plan. Told you guys this is episode 0, and that is because I'm turning this Double Down Diaries into a limited series. And every single month, I'm going to update you on how I'm doing towards these goals, my failures, my successes. I thought about making this a little vlog series the way I did with the In Those Jeans series, but because I'm self-aware and I recognize that vlogs take me 10 times longer to edit for some reason than these types of videos, I'm not going to do that. I'm just be real with you guys. Like, I'm trying to do more and talk less. I'm not gonna add something more challenging because this is my goal at the end of the day. But that being said, I really do want to be able to share with you guys. And so I'm going to be coming on here at least once a month updating you. But the most thorough updates are going to be on Substack. I'm gonna do an audio experience where I'm just talking freely about what's going on in my head, how I'm getting through the unexpected challenges, and just overall like the tactics that I'm using, because I'm always learning, I'm always iterating, I'm always trying new things, and if it doesn't work, trying something else that will work. Go ahead and subscribe to my Substack, where once a month I'll be taking you way behind the scenes of my thought process throughout this period. And as I feel inspired, I'll probably be sharing some things on Instagram and TikTok as well. So if you don't follow me on there, definitely make sure to do that. But yeah, I'm seriously so excited. I have full faith, especially with the trust I've built with myself, the rapport I've built with myself, that 6 months from now, the girl that is looking at you, who will have a completely different backdrop, because in 2 weeks we'll be moving into our new house, which is gonna make this process so much easier. Like if I was able to sprint for the past 6 months, I'm gonna be Speedy Gonzalez for the next 6 months, okay? I'm gonna have my own kitchen, my own meal prep containers that I'm so excited to open. I'm such a hoe and such a nerd for this stuff. I'm going to be putting together my own little glam room / studio, which I could honestly cry talking about it, because I think I've been delaying so much gratification for that. I haven't had my own studio or recording, like real recording space that feels like my own. So now I feel like just so excited to be able to have that. But because I've built that trust of not making any excuses, of just picking up the camera, wherever my feet are is where my backdrop is, you know, wherever my feet are is where my gym and my routine is. Like I've just really gone after it, regardless what else was happening in my life. And I know now that we're gonna be moving into a situation which is much more stable and settled. There really are no excuses. There aren't even any roadblocks anymore outside of what's in here. So I'm just very excited to bring you all into that process. And my hope is that you'll join me in whatever capacity makes the most sense for you. I really want you to witness firsthand, like through your own experiences, what I mean when I say I do not recognize the version of me that talked to you guys last. Because if there's one thing that I know how to do, it is to change my life, regardless what's happening. If there's one thing that I will leave you with before we meet again, it is, this has been my mantra, okay? I literally customized it on my little planner that I'm gonna be using to make sure all my stuff is intact. This mantra, already her, so act like it, girl. Act like it. You are already her. There is literally a universe that exists where the version of you that you're trying to get to in 6 months, she's thriving. She's already, like, she's on vacation, she's hanging out. She's just waiting for you to arrive. So in order for you to get to her as soon as possible, you need to spend as many days, I don't want to say every single day because that's not realistic, but as many minutes, as many hours, as many days as possible from now over the next 6 months, embodying that girl. That is the cheat code. Hands down. You could throw away everything else I just said. If you're trying to get to that 6 month version of you that you have been envisioning, the fastest way to get there is to embody her for a little bit longer each day. That is absolutely what I'm gonna do. I was gonna say I'll meet you at the finish line, but in reality, I'll meet you at the next checkpoint. Okay, I can't wait for this. I really want to hear from you. What is it that you're going to be working on? What are you most excited about? I'd love to hear what goals you're prioritizing during this time, or any questions that you have for me along this journey in general. I love you so much. I can't wait to do this with you. This is probably the most important thing I've done in a really long time, and I feel very grateful to have you with me along on this journey. If you liked this video though, if you're feeling these vibes about like rebranding your whole life, you will absolutely love this video. You will love it. Go ahead and watch this because it's gonna give you not just the motivation to start this journey, but also some more tactical advice on how to just rebrand your life in general. All right, my love. I'm gonna get this video up ASAP because I need you guys to join me on this. It's gonna be so fun. I hope this video left you even more powerful than it found you as usual, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.